Hey, it's me, MLB. Here is part 9 of Yin and Yang. Enjoy. Poor Ojiro was confused. You said you didn't want him around, but then you also reached out and grabbed him with your tail. When he had looked back at you when your tail had grabbed him, he felt a little stab in his heart. You had looked a little bit vulnerable for a second there. There was a brief war inside him about what to do, but the sudden appearance of a million students all washing into the hall helped him to remain on track, and he turned and started heading back to the classroom for the next lesson. He didn't walk too fast though. He didn't want you to get lost, and so moved slowly so that you could follow him. But he didn't look back either. I'll talk to Kaminari about this. He might know what to do, he thought as he made his way back to class and sat back down at his desk again. He knew that he would instinctively look up when you walked in again, so he busied himself making sure that he had all his books ready for the next lesson. He sifted through them, then stacked them, then pulled the book out from the bottom of the pile and placed it on the top of the pile, then reorganised them in size order with the largest book on the bottom. As he worked, he felt you approach your desk and so looked down into his lap, doing his best not to catch any sight of you as you sat down, and then he looked at the wall away from you. I hope I'm doing okay, he thought, staring at the wall to his right intently. Okay, open your books, he heard Aizawa say from the front of the room, and he looked back to his desk, his eyes flicking to the left ever so slightly, then quickly correcting to his books in front of him. Oh, that was close, he thought as he settled into the next class. The rest of the day was kinda hard for you. You were still trying to figure out what to do about Ojiro, and the fact that he hadn't arced up and picked a fight about it confused you even more. It would have been far easier if he had been an arse about it, but he was being so considerate considering that you hadn't made any sense in your argument to him. He just politely complied with your request. Who did that? Surely he wasn't normal. He had disappeared in the next break, which had been a snack break, so it left you sitting at your desk feeling awkward until Uraraka had approached you with a pink-skinned girl. Hey Yin, the pink-skinned beauty greeted you. I'm Mina. You just nodded. I'm glad you're in our class. We're going to have a great time on the training camp, she said. Oh, yeah, you replied. Conversations didn't often come easily to you, so this was anxiety-inducing enough as it was. Just then a raven-headed guy approached you, and your tail reacted, snaking out from over your shoulder and pausing as it pointed in his direction. Our kind are rare, he said in a mystical kind of voice, and your tail twitched with intrigue. Dark Shadow, he then announced, bringing forth a shadowy creature from his abdomen. Your tail grew and fanned out, waving back and forth in front of the shadowy creature. Ah, Dark Shadow said, seeming to be friendly with your tail. Your appendage is like Dark Shadow's, but it cannot speak, the raven classmate said. What? You asked. What do you call it? The classmate asked again, ignoring your question. I don't know. I don't call it anything, you said back with confusion. So you don't know it yet? The classmate asked. You need to get to know it. You can learn from your quirk. Huh? You asked again. This guy wasn't making any sense. And where did Ojiro go? You let your concentration waver from Mina, Uraraka, and this random dude in front of you as you looked around for Ojiro. Oh, that's right. I asked him to stay away from me. Your face fell slightly. Oh, it's okay. He'll be back for the next class, Uraraka said softly, seeing that you were looking for someone. She knew it was Ojiro. Okay, you said softly, then realised that she had somehow read your mind. No, I mean, I don't... He's staying away because... Don't worry, Mina said brightly. He's a good guy. He won't leave you hanging. And then the bell rang and everyone went back to their seats, leaving you more confused than before. In the break, Ojiro had told Kaminari about what you had said to him in the hall, and the lightning blonde was just as perplexed as him. I don't know, man, but you know those movies where the girl is like, No, leave me alone. And then the guy grabs her in a hug and tells her he's never going to let her go, and she breaks down and hugs him harder? Maybe that's what's going on. Maybe she's doing some kind of reverse psychology on you? Ugh, Kaminari, you don't even know what that means, Jiro said, approaching the two guys. She could see Ojiro's tail was flat on the floor and felt sorry for him, so had come over to see if she could help in some way. Jiro, Ojiro addressed her. I don't know why, but Yin doesn't want me around her. She said she feels weak when I'm around, and she doesn't like it. But then when I went to walk away, she grabbed me with her tail. But then she told me she didn't know why it had done that. Jiro smirked. I see. she said with a knowing look in her eye. Okay, let me see what I can do. In the meantime, just keep away from her like she's asked. But if she calls out to you, respond to her. Don't ignore her. Okay, Ojiro said with a confused look on his face. Both him and Kaminari watched Jiro walk away. Kaminari sighed. Man, I don't know, I'm just as confused as you are. Girls are complicated. It took you the rest of the day to think about what you had said to Ojiro earlier, and if you should try and rephrase things. And by the end of the day you thought that maybe you had a better way of saying it, and so prepared to follow him to talk to him. But a shorter girl with earjacks stopped you at your locker to ask a few things. Hey, she greeted as she approached you. Jiro. You nodded. Your quirk's cool, by the way, she added, twirling her jack around one finger. Okay, you replied. You were still a little on guard, not sure if she was going to turn around and insult you, but she didn't. So I saw Ojiro, Jiro then said. Your eyes immediately searched for him. You hadn't spoken to him again all day, and it was really starting to get to you. You did need him, but what was this weird feeling inside you whenever you were around him? He's left already, but he wanted to tell you that if you ever need him, he'll still be there for you, she said. That's all. She turned to go, and you quickly reached out and grabbed her by the shoulder. Did he say that to you? You asked her. When did he say that today? Jiro turned back around to face you, a small smirk on her face. Are you scared of him? She asked. You want to talk to him, right? Why not talk to him? She didn't come across as aggressive or anything, and you let your guard down slightly, letting the complexities of your emotions show on your face slightly. Go, Jiro, go! Stay tuned for next Wednesday for part 10. I'll see you then.